it out finally.
Oh, you mean 0% chance that it does?
Yeah, no, my iMovie would every time I would put in like a new like video clip from a podcast, I thought I was deleting them out of there, but I wasn't. It was just storing
nice.
up. Yeah, it was just storing up a bunch of stuff, and the problem is it eventually got so big that when I tried to delete it, it kept crashing my computer. So I had to go in and delete it like manually through. Like I had to go through. I had to do like shortcuts and shit. Like to get to it. Yeah, it was complicated. Bennett, I'm sure Bennett would be like, that wasn't complicated what you did, Tom. That was simple, basic shit.
If I learned anything, it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there, you know?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, great. Well, dude, I'm freaking Jack. I just finished Secret Agent, and
what'd you think of it? Just off the bat. Because I was a little...
I really liked it.
I liked it, too.
I honestly think more a political movie than One Battle After Another. I was surprised how overtly political it was.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by that. I knew, like, I knew, all I knew was it was Brazil in the 1970s. That's all I knew going in. But I did so I will say, I think it's a pretty intense movie. Like,
Yes.
There's a lot going on in... I thought yeah, we'll talk about it. I did like it though, but I think it's one of those movies that I'm definitely, as soon as I came out of it, I was like, I'm going to need to rewatch this like within the next couple of months just to like kind of soak it in. It's dense. It's a dense movie for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got it.
So yeah, I mean, as far as this, do you want to tackle it? So like, are you just thinking, I know I put in the podcast notes the, just kind of like what we could bring up for each like movie. I have my list on what I have winning. So you just think like we'll just go down the bracket that you have up, and then we'll just say like what we think is the better one, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does
that
make?
That sounds great.
This is gonna be fun. Okay.
You want to hit the music?
Oh yeah, we got to do the music, dude. I love the music.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Talk about sports. Yeah, sports. Talk about sports. Yeah, sports. Talk about sports. Sports Tuesday. Talk about sports. Talk about sports. Sports Tuesday. Talk about sports.
All right. Everybody, welcome back to another amazing episode of The Scuttle.
Woohoo!
We are on episode 3 of our little off-season series that Alec and I are doing. And for those of you that didn't listen to the last one all the way through, this week we are doing a bracket for all the Academy Award Best winners. We're going to talk about each movie and specifically what we think that they were best at and what awards we think they might win for that movie. And for those of you on the video version of this, as you can see, we also did set up a whole bracket for this. Our seedings went at the 10 spot. We put... we have a little different here. The 10 spot I have as Train Dreams.
This was done by number of nominations in total, correct, across the whole
Yes, it was done. Basically, I mean, we had to be a little objective about it because there were some ties on how we wanted to seed some things. But we did base it mainly on the amount of nominations they've got. So that meant, obviously, Sinners is the number 1 seed because they broke the record for most nominations.
16, right? They have 16. Was that 16 total?
16 total, yeah, which beats Return of the King. I
was going to say, I remember that Return of the King. That was that was my first Oscars experience, was Return of the King just kicking ass. Peter Jackson just walking.
Yeah, that was the first time I really remember paying attention to the Oscars, too, because that was
I think it was just because I watched Lord of the Rings, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's the first time that I really, because, we were still relatively young. That was the first time I had watched a movie that got nominated for a bunch of Oscars.
Yeah, I agree.
I've actually got Secret Agent at 10, Train Dreams at 9, Hamnet at 8, F1 at 7, Begonia at 6, Marty Supreme at 5, Frankenstein at 4, Sentimental Value at 3, and One Battle After Another at 2, and as I said before, Sinners at number 1. So,
Wonderful. So, is like what we're going to do is we're essentially just going to talk about this bracket. It's for folks. It's probably easier if you saw the bracket, but we're just going to talk about the loser. If Tom and I align on the loser, we'll talk about the loser. If not, we might just talk about one. But regardless, we're going to align on what our loser is, talk about that movie. We're not going to talk about the movie that wins, and then just go through that. I'm really excited for this. So this is my second time. I used to do this all the time in college, watch all the Academy Awards. Now, last year I did it for the first time. It's in probably like 8 years. This will be my second year in a row. Mm-hmm. What an exercise. I'm just so glad we're doing this because I never would have done it, and I would have been lazy about it, and I'm so glad I did.
And it should be said, it used to be a lot easier when we were in college to do all the Academy Award winners. It used to just be, it was like, 6 back in the day? They expanded it to 10 now? Yeah, it was like 5 or 6.
Very easy.
Very easy.
10's hard.
Yeah, you can knock it out. Now it's a lot more, but thankfully streaming does make that a little easier, as much as it may be killing the industry as a whole, but we're not going to talk about that today.
Different topic. So let's get kicked off. Hamnet and Train Dreams. I have my winner from here.
Yeah, I've got my winner too. I think we're aligned on a winner here.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hamnet.
Yeah, Hamnet.
Oh.
Same. I had Hamnet too. So Train Dreams for me, we'll talk about. I like to call Train Dreams the dead spouse movie. So I just have to tell people this story. Watching it Christmas Day, I'm like, I try and go to movies with no context into the movie because I enjoy that. And I usually can get a good read on the type of movie it is just based on the trailer and who's attached and the director. So I thought Train Dreams was going to be this uplifting story about a family and its facing adversity. And shit's going to go wrong, but they'll still be together as a family, and it'll be uplifting. And it is mildly uplifting, but about at the halfway point, the wife and child are brutally massacred in a fire. And it just, for about 20 minutes, is the most depressing 20 minutes of film of the year. I mean, when he's just laying in the ash, I was like, I'm in tears.
So
Leslie's having a freak out. She's like bawling. She's like, why the fuck are we watching this? It's Christmas. My dad is seething. My mom is crying. I mean, it was a horrific experience. But the movie's beautiful.
Cinematography is beautiful. There's no denying that.
But it is a rough one. It's rough to get rough. God. That second act is, woo, brother. That's a tough second act.
Yeah. My Letterboxd review for that was, I thought it in my head right after the fire scene. I was like, oh my god, it's like Oregon Trail, but everything just keeps getting fucking worse. Like, you made it to the end of the Oregon Trail, and like, guess what? Now your fucking cabin burns down. Your fucking friend gets dropped down by a tree, and fucking technology comes and destroys your entire way of life. So yeah, that's how the Oregon Trail goes. It doesn't matter, even if you win, your life is still fucked. Never go to Oregon.
Here's the thing, like, Train Dreams is like such a good, I think it's an achievement in filmmaking. Like you said, it is, the Pacific Northwest looks beautiful. I love trees. I love seeing big trees. I got engaged in Big Sur because I love trees. Like, it was, but I think if I had soloed this movie and known what I was getting into, I would enjoy it a lot more. But I can't overstate how mad at everyone that I care about in my life was for me selecting this movie for Christmas.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yes. So I can't, I need to watch it again, but right now my subjective experience of the movie, it colors my objective analysis. I can't even, it was just, but I love Joel Edgerton. I love Carrie Conlon. She's pretty good. People really liked Macy's performance, which I thought was strong, but I actually thought Conlon's I really liked her. I just love her as an actress. Loved that aspect of it, but
I liked William H. Macy, but it really did feel just like kind of just a cameo, easy role for him. Like,
I thought so too. I was surprised how much people loved him. Like, and it was a good performance. I'm not hating on it, but it seemed a little overrated. I was surprised by how much people seemed to adore that performance. But it didn't hit quite as much for me. But again, who knows?
Yeah.
Train Dreams.
The only thing I do want to. I will harp again on the cinematography for this. I would say it's just as important to like the Pacific Northwest as like John Ford's movies are to the Southwest in terms of like capturing the beauty of like the deserts and all that. And this movie really this was a Western. This was in every way, shape, and form a Western without many guns. It's just set in the Pacific Northwest, kind of like I guess like the Django version of the Pacific Northwest. Like that's what, yeah. And you know, it even has the same themes of like dealing with modernity and shit like that. And for me, that was part of the problem with the movie. Like, it didn't feel like it treaded any new ground on those types of themes, other than just being even showcasing more brutality on screen than we had seen at this point. Because back in the day, the FCC wouldn't let you show a whole family getting burned in a fucking cabin fire. You just had to show the burned cabin. Like afterward, you would just get the ash scene, and that's the FCC that's even pushing it for us.
True. Yeah. So. And I'm curious too, Tom, cinematography, and I know we'll talk a little bit more about it with F1. So it's One Battle After Another, Sinners, Train Dreams, Frankenstein, which is an abomination, and then Marty Supreme. For me, I honestly think it is Train Dreams. I'm surprised. Maybe I could get back after One Battle After Another, but I think I'd actually give it to Train Dreams again when I see these five. What do you think?
For me, it really would come down to F1 versus Train Dreams. Oh, is this not going to let me edit it while we're doing this?
F1 doesn't. Annoying. F1's not
that's the thing, is that F1 isn't nominated, and that's what frustrates me, is because I think F1 treaded a lot of new ground in terms of cinematography, and I gotta double check who the other. Sorry, I was trying to. I guess I would say I could give it to Sinners, but Sinners is more, their cinematography is more cool for that because of editing. That's what you're definitely more of a cinematography expert than me. I more just base it off and I'd be curious to hear what you think about cinematography. When I think of cinematography, I just kind of think about how beautiful does this look? Have I seen this captured before somewhere? Have I seen it captured before? Have I seen it captured before like this B, or kind of the really two things I index on? And so, for example, I haven't seen the Pacific Northwest shot like that in that sort of as beautifully as well as I thought I've seen it there. There's no movie I can think of that is even close to me. So that's why it kind of wins. But again, I don't know if that's like an oversimplification. And, there's definitely a technical component that I pretty much just ignore for the most part. If someone was like, you're an idiot because you don't know this and that's why Sinners should win, I'd be like, yeah, fair. I'm not going to fight you. No, I would say Sinners does a lot in terms of, I guess, juxtaposition. And Train Dreams does this a lot too, going between wide shots and close-ups. Again, that has a lot to do with editing. Cinematography and editing are just so closely tied together sometimes that it's hard to differentiate which of those two collaborators with the director are most enhancing his vision. Because at the end of the day, and we'll get to this in a minute, but modern movies they're almost solely run entirely by the director. So totally. I guess I'd say for Train Dreams, I don't think this director did a particularly great job. So maybe in terms of like cinematography making up for that, you can make the argument that it deserves the award for that. But Marty Supreme being on there pisses me the fuck off. There's nothing great about Marty Supreme other than just close-ups of Timothy Chalamet being sweaty. Timothy Chalamet is that whole fucking movie.
I agree. And you do bring up a great point around cinematography for his editing, and right, wrong, I always think about editing as like, I kind of think of it as like the feng shui or the je ne sais quoi of the movie, of like, if it's edited
editing
properly,
is usually more rhythm. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So like Secret Agent, I thought its editing was spectacular. Like literally, chef's kiss. Like honestly, like Parasite's the same. There's certain movies that their editing is so good where the story just unfolds so organically, and that's usually when I go editing more. And cinematography more to me is like, is this pretty? Do I just like looking at this on screen?
There is more to it than that, and that's where those guys are usually where you get interesting camera techniques and stuff. Like, have you ever seen that video of the Oneer where they like literally go through a window? Like they come down on a crane, go through a window into a bar, and like weave through the bar. This is like a 1950s movie. It's a technical masterpiece, but that is the cinematographer coming up with the way to move the crane through that, and having a crew be able to pull apart a wall in sequence with him going through and doing a Oneer. When you see a really good oneer, you have to have a strong cinematographer for that, or you're going to get fucked up.
That's a great call out. It's a great call. It's not. That's the technical component I was missing. Tom, I don't want to go too long. Is there anything else on Train Dream?
No, not that.
It's sad. Like the dead spouse. The dead spouse. It was just rough. Did look beautiful. I would be fine with it winning best. I honestly think that feels like. Sometimes I just think like if you get a Best Picture nom, you should win at least one thing. Ideally, if you can. It was easier with 5, but
yeah.
I would be. I think like Train Dreams winning best cinematography feels right to me. It feels like what I think of that film. Best cinematography feels right.
Yeah, and it I feel like that's a lot. That's what's carrying a lot of this Best Picture nomination as well, because it really isn't that. I'd argue there's a couple superhero movies that were arguably a little even better acted a little bit in some cases. Not Joel Edgerton. Joel Edgerton crushes this, but everybody else around him is just not like thrilling or anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
No, I agree. Okay, you want to move Hamnet?
Yeah, we got to. No, we're moving on to F1 and Secret Agent, the other play-in game.
Yeah, I just meant move like Hamnet into the.
I was going to, but it turns out this bracket won't let me edit it, which is frustrating.
Yeah, I'll just write it on my end. Okay, so we'll have Sinners, but we'll cover that one. Okay, F1 Secret Agent. I mean, really is. I mean, I can't wait to dig into the cinematography on your end. The movie is shot in such a lush, luxurious way. I'm just like. I mean, I'm not a big car guy, and I drive a 2012 Honda Civic with, cars don't do anything for me.
Same here.
But man, I'm like, I almost became a car guy after I watched this. I was like, holy shit, this is sexy, What do you think?
Again, I liked it. The cinematography for it is kind of groundbreaking, and I'm really looking forward to more stuff from that guy. He's actually shooting the Star Wars... Starfighter Squadron movie. He could do a lot of really cool things shooting from a X-wing, and I think that would. Yeah, I know you're not a huge Star Wars guy, but I think that'd be worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
I'm just not into the lore as much.
Right. I think this will be a very Rogue One type movie when this comes out.
But it was also brilliant get there by this Disney crew to pull him because that. He does feel like he can do what he did on F1, those sexy popcorn movies elevated, and it's, like you said, in a Star Wars context, sounds just nice. Just really. I would see it just for the cinematography alone, honestly.
It sounds like a perfect evolution of the skill set that he's been building up off his other movies.
Yeah. Totally. F1 to me, I probably, when I look at movies, I index more on originality and taking risks than I do, something that's well executed, but you've seen before. F1 is the natural. I mean, you've seen these movies a bunch.
Oh.
The old veteran comes to teach the young, Bull Durham. I mean, so many movies have, borrowed this. And it's good. I like it. And I said it in my Letterboxd review, Brad Pitt, to me, he is not a number one. He's so sexy and hot that people want to put him in as a number one. I've never thought of him as a number one. He's always better as a number 2. He's good in this, not elite. He looks great.
I would say this is his best lead role that he's ever done.
Interesting.
What do you think, Dak? Maybe Benjamin Button.
He's not the lead in Fight Club. That's where my head went. But he is.
He's not the lead in Fight Club, and.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess technically you could say he's not even really the lead in 7 either. I think Morgan Freeman's more the lead in 7.
I don't think so. No, he's definitely not the lead. Yeah, you're right. I mean, and again, he's not the lead in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. No. Troy, I'm a fan of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. As a co-lead with Jolie there. Yeah, that's a good take, honestly. He probably is his best here, I'd say, as a number 1.
Yeah. And he truly is a number 1 in this. There's no one else really. Yeah.
He is the guy in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than the cinematography, really nothing spoke to me about this movie. I'm glad that the Academy is giving recognition to blockbusters. I think it's good for just movies in general. I think it's good for just popularity of movies, and they're not just all stuck up movies in Brazil. I watch those movies, but a lot of people don't. And so I think it's good to have that more commercial aspect into film, if possible. So I have no issues with its inclusion. I just, I thought Secret Agent was...
Yeah. I think this will win something for sound, probably, but that's it.
Oh, that's a good call. That's a great call. It should win for sound, too. Yeah. It was immersive. like
It was
again, like
immersive. Yeah, that was cool.
I was bummed I didn't see it in IMAX
And it had a pretty good soundtrack, I thought. Even though The Weeknd can be a little over the top, I thought it complemented the movie well. Again, very lush, luxurious.
Yes, and I agree too that I kind of like the whole. I wish movies used to do this a lot more, where they would create a soundtrack for the movie. Fast and Furious does it. Like a lot of popcorn movies do it. They kind of got away from it. Marvel never does it.
Black Panther.
Oh yeah, Black Panther. Yep, great example. Right?
And those yes, great fucking soundtrack.
Yeah, so I like when movies do it. So that's a great call out for F1. Another great little like that. Just it feels like part of like the proper summer blockbuster package. Is it has to come with its own soundtrack. It's part of the whole thing. It's a commercial endeavor. Let's get big pop artists. It feels makes sense.
It almost feels more 90s, to be honest. Like this whole movie, it feels very 90s, just with like a 2026 polish to make it look beautiful. But the plot, and even this movie doesn't tread amazing ground for women. It tries a little bit, I think, but doesn't quite stick that landing. Like, she doesn't come up with a good idea until he has sex with her. Okay. Okay, come on. She has a fucking doctorate. She's a fucking... She
hasn't had Brad Pitt's dick. Tell him, what are you talking? You don't know how powerful that thing is. Yeah, it is what it is with that. I did say this. I did prefer Top Gun Maverick to F1, and I think those nominated for Best Pictures. I like very similar. Cinematography was great. Sound
same
great.
Cinematographer.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's why he's doing groundbreaking shit. Like he was the guy picked by Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick, which is huge. Yeah.
No wonder this guy's so elite. Okay, great. Well, great for him. Shout out to do you know his name?
Not off the top of my head. No, I should.
Yeah. Shout out to him, though. He's a real talent. Good for him. He'll make a lot of money doing this stuff, and he should because he's the best at it. So
I think he's got a big career ahead of him. All right, so now do you want to do Frankenstein and Marty Supreme or Sentimental Value and Begonia?
Oh, both great. I think I got to I've been sitting on this Frankenstein. I got to get.
Please bring your Frankenstein take. I'm excited for it. Okay, so Frankenstein versus Marty Supreme. Who are you putting over it? Because I've got... this is a toss-up for me. This is a toss-up for me.
It is? Okay, I think... I didn't really love either of these.
Same.
But I'm putting Supreme above... Supreme above. Only because there are some shots in Frankenstein and some line readings that I'm like, that's an abomination. Like, there are...
I think that's the point, though, for that Frankenstein. I think so. I think it's a shout-out to the 30s hammy acting. I think that's half of what... True, I do think that sometimes Oscar Isaac's overdoing it a little bit. But I think his whole performance is supposed to be, like, over-the-top, insane. It seems very Del Toro. And, spoiler for your...
Frankenstein...
I would pick Frankenstein over Marty Supreme. I also had a tough Christmas Day experience watching one of these movies. And mine was watching Marty Supreme with my parents... And that opening scene of him banging that one girl and then his sperm turning into, impregnating an egg and turning into a ping pong ball. That is not how you want to start your Christmas day with your parents, guys.
That's tough. That's tough. Let's move. So let's move Frankenstein up and let's talk Marty Supreme then.
Okay.
Marty Supreme. So, okay, so have you seen all of the Safdies? So, like I said, I think the Safdies work. I saw Good Time with Pattinson, loved it, thought it was an achievement.
Haven't seen that one yet.
That one's elite. It's my favorite. I remember seeing it, and I didn't really know exactly what I was getting into, and that blew me away. Pattinson's amazing in it. The plot felt so unique, and like the way it was shot, and it's so frenetic, and it was just like I'd never seen the anxiety-inducing like this before. They do it again with Uncut Gems. To lesser effect, but I love Adam Sandler, so I was like, this is awesome. And then they do it again with Marty Supreme, and it functionally felt like the same exact movie. And I think if you did the like Pattinson, Sandler, Marty Supreme, just each of those people in those roles, like across those three directors, I think Chalamet's performance was the weakest of the three. And I think this movie lives and dies on the main. And I have no issues with the moral ambiguity, like rooting for a morally ambiguous character. That doesn't bother me at all, but I just didn't find the story itself to be ultimately that compelling because I've seen it done better before by Safdie himself and also by other directors. So that's where I landed on it. What was your high level takeaway?
I'd say pretty similar. I didn't think that people think it is. I don't think. I think he's done better in other stuff. I thought he was better. I thought he was better in Dune. I know you. I know you can just say, "Oh, that's a popcorn flick." I liked him a lot more in Dune, and he's playing a similar character in Dune. Paul Atreides is not the fucking hero of Dune. It's a very yeah. You're rooting for the bad guy here. Yeah. And yeah, I also felt like there's just so much going on in Marty Supreme. Like it feels like an ADHD kid got a chance to make a movie because it's all over the place, and it's kind of frenetic, and it's very lifelike, and I kind of like that from a French New Wave perspective and Italian neorealism. I don't necessarily think that that Safdie was going for that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I also think, like you said, in the past, like, Good Time or Uncut Gems, it was frenetic, but it still felt like you were on the train tracks.
Yeah,
I thought there are diversions here. Like, I think, like, the scene that I always think about is, like, when he's, like, just randomly giving tips to the guy on, like, how he should be acting. I was like, what are we doing here? Why do we need this scene? Completely, like, what was his purpose? Is this serving? Like, we just want Chalamet to be sick at, like, directing. It was such a weird diversion that, like, accomplished nothing. It was so odd to me.
Yeah, and I will give at least the screenwriting credit that most of the weird diversions did have somewhat of a payoff. I think they all had varying degrees of a payoff, but
I agree with that.
That went nowhere. I felt like the whole the agreeing to be the heel for that ping pong match and then going against it, like that felt just so obvious. Like, obviously he's going to do that. Like, why don't you just have him throw that? He should have like, everything about his character suggest. Like, I thought for sure he was going to throw that plan out the window immediately. Like, once he got there, he was just going to be like, "Yeah, I'm playing you," and they told me to fucking drop or like lose to you, but I'm going to play you for real right now. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Instead, he loses first and then decides to go for that game. That felt very. That did not feel like the character I'd spent like 2.5 hours, by the way, fucking learning about.
I agree, and I think the idea going into it is he's been so humbled by everything that's happened up to that moment that he was like, okay, maybe I now see the error of my ways. Oh, no, I don't. That's kind of what it felt like. I just have so many more issues with, like, just like you're saying, more the character motivations of him, and way less around, like, oh, he's a shitty guy. Like, Safdie brothers make movies about shitty guys. That's their whole thing. I just didn't think he was as compelling as a shitty guy as Sandler in Uncut Gems, who's functionally a gambling degenerate, and then Robert Pattinson, who's, like, maybe a sociopath, but maybe trying to look after his handicapped brother. That was very odd to me. Also, I said this. I did not like the chemistry between Paltrow and Chalamet at all.
No.
Did not. It was weird. My wife didn't like it. I didn't like it. I was like, this. I don't know. The Paltrow casting.
You don't know what my mom said?
What?
When she got revealed to, like, not have, or, like, her eye, or that she wasn't actually abused and shit. Wait, we're talking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Okay.
My mom was like, "Oh, that's some shit your ex-wife would do." Yeah.
Yikes.
That was like, oh yeah, I was like, yeah, that's why she feels kind of icky. She's also a really shitty character, and she does whatever she wants to get by. I guess we do give her shit for that, like, and the pregnancy and all that, and
her character,
but her character doesn't go anywhere, which is.
Yeah, I agree. It's a weird, and, like, she has no arc. It's just she's there. Her character's weird, and then, like I said, Paltrow, I think, was miscast. She's just too hot. Like, she looks great. Like, you're telling me this is an aging, bitter actress. She looks incredible.
Yeah, Paltrow, yeah. Also, Paltrow. Yeah. I misheard you, yeah.
But regardless, I think that both of those didn't quite work for me. I did kind of like the concept of, like, Chalamet has his, like, his, like, hustler, schemer counterpart in this duo. But, yeah, it didn't work for this film. The movie, to me, just didn't work. It didn't for me as much. And I'm surprised. I was surprised with how much love that it got. But
I did like
yeah,
the beginning of it where it was based more on that one dude's life, where he was doing, exhibition games in between the Harlem
yeah,
Globetrotters. I think
that
if
was
we had spent more time doing that and him being like humbled by society and
yes,
whatnot, and then just basically went straight to him trying to get that rematch instead of fucking what felt like an hour and a half of side quests to try and get to that plot point. I would have
no,
much preferred that hour and a half being spent by him doing tricks with that other Jewish guy, and because that was fun. I enjoyed
I
that.
agree. I liked it. Like it was, he'd play a seal. It was kind of fun. Did you ever? It's funny. I was talking to my brother about Mighty Scream. Do you remember playing those like old Flash web video games? And there was one. It was like I think it was Johnny Bravo on Cartoon Network back when you had like dial-up internet. And there'd be these games, which is kind of what Pokemon was too. Like where it's like talk to this person, get this piece of information, then you can go to this thing.
Yeah.
That.
They're very. I mean, they're essentially like the Oregon Trail, except they just have pictures and stuff to show. Like, it's a branching tree, like to get you to do each thing.
Totally,
yeah,
exactly. And that's what I thought this plot was. It just felt very much like it didn't feel organic. It felt just very much like, oh, I got that. Like, it felt so like episodic. Like, oh, I got my one piece of information. Then I'll come over here, and like, it just felt so blocked off and not like this organic sort of like one cohesive story. It just did not hit for me.
It felt like a kid got stuck on one side quest in a video game and just forgot about the main plot. You're right. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
Weird. Yeah. Again, I'm not super thrilled about like like you said. I think you're right that Chalamet thought this was his movie. I think he was better in Dylan or Dune.
Yeah, he's better in Dylan and Dune.
But yeah, okay, that's it. That's all I got on Mighty Scream.
Yeah, same here. I would not hate if he won Best Actor. I do think that they're better picks. In particular, a guy that we're going to talk about here in a second. But
so
we'll move on.
Actually, while we're on Marty Scream, one more thing though. Do you think it should, like, of the original screenplays of which it's nominated for? So
actually, I do think it has a chance for Best Original Screenplay. Mainly from a structural standpoint, it does tie up a lot. It's a very tight script, even though it does run off into all these other things. Back in the if Safdie hadn't made Uncut Gems, he would have been forced to cut a lot of this, and this movie would have been terrible because it would have had a bunch of plots that truly don't get any sort of resolution, or plots that come out of nowhere because we didn't get the setup for it. But this is really two movies with how much is going on.
Totally. I think I'm leaning towards screenplay either between I think Sinners is going to win.
Yeah.
I would fine with Sinners. I think Sinners is a really cool screenplay. Honestly, I think that's one of the stronger aspects of the movie. I would use, but I'm going to ride or die for sentimental value. So I would love to see Sentimental Value get a screenplay nod in there. But I don't think that's going to happen. And then I don't want Marty Supreme 2, and then Blue Moon, and It Was Just an Accident. I did not see, but I've heard great things about. It Was Just an Accident in particular. I've heard great things, but I don't think it has any chance of winning Best Original.
No, yeah. I think it's one of those three for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's probably going to be Sinners, which I'd be fine with. I'm between Sinners and Sentimental Value. If one of those two win, I'm fine, and my money's on Sinners.
Yeah. Well, then we'll move on to Sentimental Value and Begonia.
This is a tough
this is the real tough. This is a tough one because I love both these movies. I probably won't watch Sentimental Value again for a very long time, but I do intend to watch it again. But I will say, just spoiler alert for a part of the movie. There is, or I guess a trigger warning, I guess too. There are mentions of suicide of it. For me personally, that's always something that hits harder than usual. And I think I want to make sure I didn't lose this in translation. They don't say for certain that Stellan Skarsgård's character knew about Renate Receiv's suicide attempt, right? Like he just kind of wrote it in and he almost knew by instinct or something.
Yes, that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, okay, me too.
He just knew his daughter was in a lot of trouble, and even though they were
saw
estranged,
and saw that in his mom. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I interpreted that.
Yeah.
So that's a good call out. I would say let's announce on 3, 2, 1 because I think this is going to be very interesting. 3. So we're announcing the winners. Okay.
Yeah, we're announcing the winner. Okay.
3, 3, 2, 1. Sentimental value.
Sentimental value, yeah.
Okay, it is. I love Begonia.
I love Begonia. I
did.
love Begonia. But if you're asked, this one I also had to put like my brain. I put my brain more into this one than my heart, because my heart wants Begonia because it's just so fucking weird, and I love weird, and I love surrealism, and it's my It's probably my favorite film movement of all time. I could watch every single thing Luis Buñuel's done, but Sentimental Value is just such a technically perfect fucking film. Stellan Skarsgård is a fucking master of God.
Talk about it. We'll talk about Sentimental Value. We'll get to it. We'll talk about it. But,
yeah, but we got to talk Begonia.
Yeah, Begonia is so surrealism. I agree, love it. I can't believe that was your first Yorgos movie, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, so I've been following Yorgos pretty much. I see Poor Little Things. I saw Kinds of Kindness. I think I've been through his whole.
One. You said everything except. Have you seen Killing of the Sacred Deer?
Yes. So okay. I saw his early stuff. So Lobster, Killing of the Sacred Deer.
Well, no, that's that's technically would be considered like his middle stuff. He's got stuff from even before. He's got some Greek films, like pure Greek films.
Right,
that would be that I'm interested in seeing that now too.
Yes, you're totally dead right. I was speaking to like his English.
Right, his English stuff. Those are his first English things, and now his recent stuff has been his collaborations with Emma Stone. Which in here is fantastic. She's amazing in Begonia.
Amazing. I mean, and in a year where you don't have Jessie Buckley as just ripping the world off in Hamnet, she probably would have won Emma Stone.
I think she would have gotten back to back. I mean, she was. I really thought that there's no way that Jessie Buckley in Hamnet can be that much better. I will say, I'm going to butcher her name. Renate Rensive. Yeah, your girl. I thought she was better than Emma. Like, if I had to rank them, I would say Jessie Buckley, wow. Renate Rensive, and then Emma Stone. Yeah. Okay. She's really good in it, too. It takes a lot to make me think that Stellan Skarsgård might not be the best actor in your movie. It takes a lot to do that.
Dude,
I think she goes toe-to-toe with him.
I agree with you there. I mean, we'll talk about the best supporting actress because I think that's a fascinating one this year. I would say that Begonia for me, I would say that I'm curious to see when you go back because I'm so like I said, I'm kind of steeped in Yorgos' work. So the twist to me, I knew she was going to be an alien because that's how Yorgos is. Like he loves the okay. That's his type of filmmaker of he loves the surrealism. He loves kind of playing he loves steeping his movies in reality and then at the last moment being like Killing of the Sacred Deer uses the same formula, so does The Lobster, where it's these movies feel deeply ingrained in reality and then all of a sudden it's oh, actually it's completely fictional and fantasy. He does, it's a cool little trick of his.
Cool. Okay. Well, that makes me look forward to his other stuff.
It's good. Yeah, he uses it to similar effect. But man, and so honestly, Jesse Plemons too, we got to talk about. Wow. Wow,
him and Michael B. Jordan in the same year, crushing it.
Dude.
Friday Night Lights, baby. Friday Night Lights. Clear eyes, full hearts. We can't fucking lose. And we got Kyle Chandler coming in Lanterns. It's just a great year. It's a great year to be a fucking Dylan Panther.
Amen. Yeah, I love him in this. I have a love-or-hate relation. Not love-or-hate, but for example, I think Jesse Plemons is a reactor on screen. He's not really a scene chewer guy to me. And he's been used in scene chewing in the past, like Civil War as an example, and I think he misses the boat. It's not really what he's good at. But man, he drives the film here, and he's fucking incredible. His physical choices with his stringy hair and his lost weight and his gaunt face and his desperation.
He really looks like, I feel like he isolated himself for weeks to get prepared for the role.
I agree. Yeah. I feel this I'm a man truly teetering on the edge here. I cannot get over how desperate his performance felt, and I'm damn, dude, that is hats off to him. I was so impressed with him. And he kind of needs. you need him to be this because you need to be like thinking like, is this guy just a truly broken man? Am I just watching like Taxi Driver more or less?
Right.
Like this guy's just broken as shit and just like losing his mind. And like how he plays that, it's like the movie doesn't work without it. And man, he is good. Shout out to him. Seriously, it was so good, so good.
Yeah, it really.
Another shout out.
I wish he had gotten a nod for Best Actor.
I'm kind of bummed he didn't. I wish he would have too. I also thought the neurodivergent guy was also great too. What's his name? Aiden Delbus.
Yeah,
was amazing too. Their relationship was so like kind of tender and gentle and
it's so deep. Like I felt like I'd gotten a mini series about them ahead of time. That's how connected to them I felt, and they did so good with that. That whole opening sequence of them, like getting ready, like Emma Stone's character getting ready for her day, juxtaposed to them, preparing for that. That was it endeared me to them instantly. I could see their dynamic. I mean, it's just of mice and men, but
yeah, totally.
It works so well.
It does, yeah, it's a great call out of mice and men, but it works really well here. And like you said, that's a great example. Like that opening scene communicates so much information so fast. Like that's how like filmmaking when you're in the hands of a great filmmaker, like they can communicate literally, like you're saying, 8 hours worth of content in 7 minutes. And like it was so good. And yeah, I mean, like I said, Yorgos is like, this isn't breaking new ground for him in the sense of like, he's still up to his old bad tricks, which is why like I put it below like sentimental value to me. But one of his better movies of his last like 5-7 years, and I just shout out to everyone here. Also Stavros Halkias, who does a nice little job in his first acting role as the cop, like less Jesse Plemons. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, and
good movie.
And it's just a weird. So I would say that's an example of like having a weird little divergent thing in your film that works out and doesn't completely derail everything.
100%. Yes. And it still is important because, like you said, it doesn't really push the plot forward.
No, but it also gives some motivation.
Yes, exactly. It immediately plants that another thing of like, oh God, this guy's mom died when he was young and he was molested. Like it's trying to like to build up this like, oh, this guy's probably losing his mind. So it's there for a reason. And it's also just an awkward, like, you don't see that scene very often, like, a child molester, like, talking to his victim and trying to, like, yada yada it away was, it's just a unique
lot,
thing.
Yeah.
And it's something that Yorgos, he's really good with those, like, so awkward, I want to stab my eyes out, but I can't look away type stuff. And, yeah, it's just a scene that Yorgos is really good at shooting in general. So, shout out to him. Great movie.
Yeah, it's incredible. Highly recommend it, everybody.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Also, also good cultural relevance here too. Like it kind of picks up on this, like the elite, especially these days with like the elitists controlling everything. I think it was a nice little. It just felt of the moment. Good little time capsule.
It was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay because it is technically a remake of another movie called Save the Green Planet, which is it is essentially the same movie and same twist ending. I don't think it'll win. I just want it to win something, so I think I want to put it for that, but it probably won't win over One Battle After Another or
either.
Yeah, I'd say maybe Frankenstein. I think I could see the Academy wanting to give it to Frankenstein because it's the first time a Frankenstein movie has actually had the fucking ship captain in it, so they might be like, fair. Just fucking finally. We're going to give you an award. We're going to reward you for that good behavior. But I'm really sure Lordy's going to get it hit.
I do want to talk around like the screenplay stuff for Frankenstein specifically because I know you're closer to that text than I am. I would agree. I think this is one battle's almost certainly going to win here. PTA is a great writer, writes everything. I think like if I were to pick one battle, it's like the one I want to win. I think it's the one that should win.
I think if Begonia had been original, I think I would arguably put it for original screenplay.
Agreed. I agree with that 1,000%. But yeah, also shout out, fun little twist ending when I will say when Emma Stone flips it, and like even though it was so good when she's like, "You guys know,"
dude, it takes a lot to get me in a movie nowadays. That fucking got me. That
It did.
got
It's
me.
just like-
She got me. Yeah, she got me.
It's frightening. I'm like, oh god, oh, shit! Watch out for this woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
it's a
she
great
started like at first just being like, admitting he was right and all that, I was like, okay, that's smart. That's like the Stockholm syndrome, like fake Stockholm syndrome move. Agree with him, prop him up, and then get your way out. And then she was like, she got him to leave, and she was gonna get away, and then she didn't. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
I know,
And I was like, oh my god.
I thought that reveal was very, like, how they chose to do it was very clever. They had, I thought it was really cool. Like, she sees his work, and it's also kind of fucked up. But
That's fun. Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's good. But, shout out to Begonia. Great cast, great movie. Glad it exists.
Really well done.
Okay, so Sinners are one battle after another. What are we up?
Oh no, it'll be one battle after another versus Secret Agent, and then Sinners versus Hamnet.
Which one do you want to do?
Let's do Sinners versus Hamnet first.
Okay. I think we know where this is going.
Winner on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sinners.
Yeah. Sinners is moving on for sure. You haven't finished Hamnet.
Haven't finished Hamnet. Seen most of it. Paul Mescal's incredible in it. I think he's 100% Geek Squad now because I think almost anybody in the Geek Squad would get really excited to play William Shakespeare like that, and he fucking clearly enjoys himself. Yes. Chloe Zhao is an incredible filmmaker, and the humanity of her films is something that I'm just happy to be on the same planet as her, because every time I watch, the first 2/3 of her movies, I'm really happy about life and humanity and all that, and then she usually fucking punches me in the gut.
Which she does here.
Yeah, which she does here. I mean, yeah, a dead 11-year-old is... Yeah, spoiler alert for those of you guys that don't know the story of William Shakespeare's son, Hamnet. He dies.
He dies.
He dies young, tragically, and it's not great.
It's really tragic. Yeah, So I will say, I think the first act of this movie, a little slow for me. I did have my check.
There's no Hamnet in the first act.
Yeah.
There's just no Hamnet.
I did love the concept of Shakespeare marrying a witch. I think that's so funny to me. Yeah. And in their love story is still I always like when you take love stories and it's two very odd, almost mystical people, and it's how do they fall in love? And I think that's how their love begins. I think is it's quite unique. I enjoyed watching it. I just could have made it move a little bit faster.
I love how Chloe Zhao shows their love in particular, because it's always in moments they are constantly laughing and having fun. Every time they're together. The only time they're not is when Shakespeare's struggling in that first act, and he's drinking and he can't get any sort of success. And even then, he's not abusive to his wife. He's abusive toward himself, which just is brutal in its own right. But man, Jessie Buckley just crushes this.
I mean, you can't. There are certain scenes, and there are 2 scenes in this movie. There are certain scenes you watch in movies where it's it's so physically, it's so physically affecting that you think what was it like to yell cut after that scene's over? You know what I'm saying? I think there are certain scenes where it's I don't even know. It's okay, we got it. It would just be so what you just witnessed is so amazing. It's I don't even you just want to sit in the truth for a moment before you have to reveal the fakeness of it all. It is, God bless the scene when she thinks her child is going to die. Holy fuck! And then the scene when Hamnet actually dies. Also, holy fuck! I'm just my heart was beat. I was oh my god. Holy shit! Holy shit!
Oh, it's yeah. She
it,
just the whole I feel this is a movie where you get all of humanity just from Jessie Buckley. All the highs, all the lows, everything in between. Everything that it is to be human is in Jessie Buckley's performance, and that's a very hard thing to do as an actor, I would say.
Yeah,
it's really hard.
Entire range of human emotions in one performance, kind of hard.
We'll give you 2 hours. You got to show us it all of it, every single one. Can't miss a thing.
She's so good. Hamlet. So I would say I also this got fed on my algo, and I kind of silly saying it aloud, but Hamnet, the third act, more or less, is just like a retelling of the Hamlet story, which I had been fed on my YouTube algo. Andrew Scott and both Benedict Cumberbatch's like their performances in Hamlet, of just like their monologues, and they're so fucking like the Hamlet monologues are unreal. Like there's so many, like when he gets the get thee to a nunnery, I'm like, what? Like it still rips now.
No, it
like,
still rips.
Billy
still rips.
And he says get, because I've seen Benedict do it, I've seen Andrew Scott do it, and now Paul Mescal does it. And like did you see the scene when he's like,
I have not gotten to that scene yet, but I've seen Andrew Scott do a lot of Shakespeare. Now, I've never sat down and watched like one whole thing, but I get on my algorithm, I get a lot of Andrew Scott just fucking crushing it. And there's a great little bit from Wake Up Dead Man where when Josh Brolin is doing his big sermon, and it's like Ryan Johnson knew he wasn't going to do any sound to it, so he's like, Brolin, you just do whatever monologue you want, just be angry and expressive and mean. He does Shakespeare to Andrew Scott. And Andrew Scott even has a moment where he just kind of goes like, yeah, whatever. And Josh Brolin was like, that's all I needed. I just needed a slight approval from Andrew Scott on my Shakespeare, and I'll die happy. That's all I needed.
Andrew Scott's great in Hamlet, and like but yeah, I mean, so there's a great scene where Paul, like, it's the get thee to a nunnery, which that monologue is more or less like humans are all fucked. Like it's all a fucking mess, brother. Like, get away from us. I'm a shithead. Everyone you know is a shithead. Just and like Mezcal's dealing with so much loathing because he just missed the death of his child.
Yeah.
And he can feel this self-loathing, and he has to coach this young kid who like has no idea of the depths of like your child dying.
Yeah.
And he rips
Can't even understand that feeling.
Yeah, he doesn't understand it. He's like, you're just mouthing the words. Like, I need you to. And dude, Mezcal rips on it too, man. I mean, I'm like, ooh, it's so good. Like,
can't wait for that.
Dude, get thee to a nunnery monologue is chef's kiss. Yeah, so I really liked the movie. I'm surprised by how much I ended up feeling it. Yeah, it's a shame you haven't seen the final act, because the final act is by far the best. The third act,
I got to Hamlet's death, and to be honest, like, just between sentimental value and even Secret Agent a little bit, which we'll talk about here in a second, it's just a lot.
It's a lot.
I had to go back to the live action One Piece. Like, I still haven't watched season 2 of that yet, and I wanted to rewatch season 1 and just rip into it. And I was like, I need Luffy to make me laugh and feel good about the world for a second.
So funny, because I was like, I finished Hamnet last night, and I was like, Les, like, we gotta watch Survivor season 50.
Yeah, gotta do something else. I need something.
I gotta watch Survivor season 50. Yeah, but great movie. I mean, again, like, Chloe Zhao, you said shout out to them. Mezcal's great. Buckley, obviously. Also, we have to shout out the child actor too, who plays Hamnet.
Yeah, actual Hamnet. Hamnet was great.
Hamnet was incredible that night. I'm like following him. Like, he has some, really, really strong performance from that little kid. Just a great movie, man. Really powerful.
Really good.
Really powerful stuff. Really, really, like you said, shout out to Jesse Buckley, who puts in like a LeBron.
Yeah. And just let Chloe Zhao take a camera, 4 or 5 people into a field, and just let her film whatever she wants, and it'll get an Oscar.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. That's my takeaway. Okay, so one battle next.
One battle versus Secret Agent.
Man. This is a funny pairing, because I was talking to you off camera about this. One battle feels overtly political, but Secret Agent is actually a far more political movie with far more like actual opinions. I actually don't think One Battle After Another has as many political opinions as it might on the surface appear.
Yes.
We'll say it on 3. 3, 2, 1. One battle for
Secret Agent.
I knew it. Okay. Oh. Okay, let's talk about it. So, let's talk around. Do you want to?
I'm just not a huge One Battle After Another fan. I don't think it's Paul Thomas Anderson's best work. I really do think. I think that was the master. That's probably the best thing I think I've seen from him. That movie's just incredible.
It's a nice break of PTA, because for this exercise, let me read it out, and just so everyone can. But I have Master 1. Master is, incredible. film start to finish. I'll read it off. Where did I put it on? Let's see. I put it on my letterbox. Okay. So you keep talking about why One Battle doesn't work for you as much.
Okay, so Leonardo DiCaprio, yeah, he does a good job in this. I also don't think this is like his best work either. This movie just feels disjointed. It starts off pretty strong, and with all the prologue is fantastic, I think, in this, and then we kind of get Peter off into the slice of life, which I didn't hate the slice of life part. I liked that part of it. I don't know how I feel about Sean Penn's military character in this.
People don't like this performance. I fucking love. So, is it just because you find it to be too over the top, like it's too much of a caricature? Is that your issue with it?
Yeah, I do think he's almost too much of a caricature for the world that's being built.
Okay,
I feel because I guess I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that the world is today. I feel like if Sean Penn's character is going to be that over the top, Leonardo DiCaprio's character also needed to be that over the top. And what's her name? What's the
Teyana Taylor?
Yeah, Teyana Taylor, the revolutionary.
Yes.
The deadbeat mom. She also needed to be over top. They didn't feel like that crazy in their beliefs. Like they weren't. They were kind of just. I mean, they do show themselves to like not be fully committed to their beliefs and all that, but that's entirely different than being so committed to your beliefs that you become like just an insane caricature of yourself. And I mean, to the point that like if every time I see a military character in a movie, I like to think, would this character be invited to commentate on Fox News? Yes or no, and why? He would be no, because even for Fox News, they'd be like, this dude's fucking Looney Tunes. We can't put him on TV saying the shit that he's saying. He would have never been accepted into that, like, white supremacist society, because they're like, dude, you're giving away the game. You're talking so much shit about how you hate but also love black people in weird fetishy ways out in public at the grocery store. No, you're not invited. You gotta be chiller than that, bro.
So a few things. So this is a major critique of that. So first off, I want to start here. How much did you laugh during one battle after another?
Probably like 3 or 4 times.
Did you find it funny?
I did find it funny. I found the movie funny.
It was a funny movie.
Yes.
See,
I feel like that part of it worked. That part of it worked. Yeah. But also at times it was a laugh of disbelief.
Okay. I thought, like, I was laughing a lot throughout the movie. Like, I think there's so, like, obviously the scenes when he's, like, talking to the guys on the phone are always, like, when Leo's talking to the guys on the phone are really good.
Yes.
Leo's character in general is funny. This is what I'm saying. I do think the tone of this, because the plot is so overtly political, right? I mean, we're talking immigration camps, we're talking, like, government running into sanctuary cities, causing, I mean, it is, like, literally just ripping what's going on and then putting it into the film.
Yes.
I think it carries with this like level of self-seriousness that I think people wanted it to be this text of like, look at our times right now and look at PTA commenting. And as cynical as it might be, I think PTA was more using that as like a commercial vehicle for it to be more popular. I actually don't like that stuff. Like, I honestly thought of this movie as like more like The Big Lebowski shot by PTA. Like, that's kind of what I thought about this movie way more. And I didn't take it as seriously as I think other folks might. So Sean Penn's performance, like, the movie to me felt like a farce. And so Sean Penn's performance is a manifestation of the farce. So I was really into the performance. Now, but I do see this, like, I do think there's, like, the tone mismatch of, like, my dad, for example, saw the movie, didn't laugh one time, didn't think it was funny, was confused by it. And I think it is fair to be confusing because the plot seems so serious, but I don't think I never took it that way, I guess. And I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was just Leo's performance where I was like, this is Big Lebowski.
No, I did get that. I'd say I did get that for the most part, but it did just, I guess it just didn't, it felt like they were in two. It felt like Sean Penn's character and Leo's character were in two different movies at times. Maybe they needed to interact more throughout somehow. I don't know how that would have worked for the movie, but or just
weird.
I don't know. Maybe you could have done side by sides of them responding to things at the same time. That would have sell it more. But I it's not that I think One Battle After Another is a bad movie. I think it's fantastic. I just wasn't expecting Secret Agent to be this good. And to be honest, that final sequence of Secret Agent, I like that a lot more than this final sequence of One Battle After Another. To be honest, I think that's what's really
about, like the final car chase sequence, or the the sequence after, like that.
The final action sequence. So for One Battle After Another, yes, the car scene or the car chase where it ends with her pointing the gun at her dad and she's confused. I mean, I did like the ending to it.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I also think you're dead right that it isn't PTA's best movie. I have it fifth. So I have Magnolia 1, which means a lot to me, which I know a lot, and it's Tom Cruise's best performance. Master 2, There Will Be Blood 3, Boogie Nights 4, One Battle 5, Punch Drunk 6, Inherent Vice 7, Phantom Thread 8, Hard 8, 9, and then Licorice Pizza 10. So literally it's like dead middle of his filmography. So it's by no means his best performance or best movie, but I think why I like One Battle so much is there are some scenes in here. Like, I think it has the best scenes of, like, the only, like, Sinners has the best scene, I think, of the year, where it's like that jazz scene through time. I think that's the scene of the year. But I think One Battle then has 2, 3. I think One Battle's car chase scene, and then One Battle's like chase through the Sanctuary City. Both of those.
The chase through the Sanctuary Cities and Crane. Benicio del Toro. I wish he'd been in the movie more. He made me laugh a lot. He was funny, I thought, because he's just so calm and collected and moving through all these things. The camera does such a good job of expressing that too by making almost every scene that he's in a oneer, which just shows how just on top of shit he is, which is really cool. I almost want a movie about him more than anything. Like just
EDT. I mean,
just give me a spinoff with him, and I'll be happier.
He might be one of my favorite characters of the last 5-10 years on screen. I can't tell you how many times my brothers will be like, I'll be talking on the phone with my brother, and I'm like, how'd the weekend go? Did you drink it all? He's like, yeah, I had a few small beers. We say that all the time now. I love BDT's character a ton. So we talked about One Battle After Another. I'm fine.
I think we should move it on anyway. I think it should win over Secret Agent. Probably.
I do love Secret Agent though.
Yeah.
I think it's completely. I think Sinners, Secret Agent, and One Battle are their own tier. I think that's a tier to it this year to me, which is kind of crazy because I love Sentimental Value, but I came out as Secret Agent and was also floored too. I do think that I need to rewatch Secret Agent again. I've already seen One Battle 3 times, so I don't love comparing movies that I've seen 3 times to 1 time. But on first watch, I think they're right up. I'm totally
Before you rewatch Secret Agent, try to find an article discussing the different accents in the film. Apparently, there's a lot of clever wordplay in there, but you have to understand Portuguese because it's set in Brazil and all that. So a lot of the dialects and differences in languages and all that. And apparently, what's his name? Wagner Moura. His character Armando does he changes his accent and stuff based on where he's at and everything that I never noticed really. So yeah, so there's even more to that than
a lot. So I think we did kind of functionally make it the loser. I'm fine. I will have One Battle as my best picture winner, but for the sake of the exercise, I think we should move Secret Agent forward. And I'm fine. And again, I loved Secret Agent. Honestly, these are my top 3 films. It's unfortunate they had to meet in the second round, but I'm fine to move Secret Agent. And I think it'll be more interesting because in my bracket, I obviously did it the way. So I've already kind of done One Battle versus my next versus Sentimental Value. So I'd rather do the other way around anyway. So cool. Well, yeah, great movie. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people One Battle definitely has its detractors too. I'm not, like I said, it's not my favorite PTA movie, but yeah, I think it's totally reasonable to put Secret Agent above it. Okay. So let's go. So is that our final 4 set?
Yeah, that's our final 4. So our final 4 is Sinners, Frankenstein, Secret Agent, and Sentimental Value. Secret Agent and Sentimental Value is also something.
That's a fun
one.
top. I can't wait. I don't know where I'm going to. I do.
Well,
But
we know. I think we know how the next one's going to go between Sinners and Frankenstein.
we certainly do. Time to get my Frankenstein.
Yeah,
stuff
I
out.
want your Frankenstein take to come out.
Okay, so Frankenstein was my least favorite of the 10.
Wow.
I did not like Frankenstein. And I think you bring up an interesting point around they were meant to be 30s over the top. I couldn't get there with this film. I think okay, so I can't believe so first off, don't you think there's like some AI slop on the
No,
back?
I'll
Like,
give you
there's
that. Yeah, no, Netflix. I would have
Like-
loved if any other production company but Netflix made this.
Netflix should be disbarred from this shit, dude. I
Yeah.
cannot believe like there are certain shots that I'm like, what the fuck am I looking
The
at?
tower. The
Out, it's
tower,
stifling.
dude. I did not like the tower. Like the
Tower
outside
is
shot of the tower, I was like,
horrible.
that looks insane, dude. That looks crazy.
Terrible.
That
I'm
is
like, I'm
that is an 80-foot tall just tube of something green screen, and they just decided to build all around. And I'm like, oh,
It
Ugh.
looked awful. Like and that like immediately just like and I thought the color scheme was not good. I thought it was garish. I said in my Letterboxd review it was like a cheap Boz Lerman ripoff. Like
I think I do for that one again. I disagree with you on that one. I do think that one's a little bit on purpose. I think that's trying to go for like the gothic, gaudy, shadowy type thing, and
Okay.
kind of low budgety. I think that's Guillermo trying to harken back to the old Frankenstein movie. That one I'm
That's
not.
fair.
That one I could see. I could also see that being Netflix being cheap.
yeah,
It could
so,
be that
like,
too.
you're way more steeped into like that 30s, 40s, 50s filmmaking than I am, so I think it is like an interesting juxtaposition. What I was watching on screen was like between the performances, which like I said, I have like we'll get to a Lordy, but like between Oscar, I like to be a goth too, but I just thought Isaac as like the core. I also thought the third act was really rushed to me. Like I just didn't. All this, it just seemed like Oscar Isaac's sort of like live and let live mentality that he got at the end. It felt cheap to me. It felt just like, well, I guess I'm doing this. Like, because, and maybe you can explain this to me. What didn't make sense to me is he's hunting the creature through the Arctic, and the guy's like, I need dynamite. And he's like, what are you doing? He was like, hunting? He's like, yeah, big game. And it seems like he's still at that point set on, like, he still despises the creature. And then he, like, tries to kill him. And, like, in that moment, it's like now he's, like, okay with the creature. It just, the scene when he's, like, talking to him on his deathbed, it just felt unearned to me and felt like, okay, we're just here now. It just didn't really work to me. So that was weird. And again, so that's why I ranked it so low, and I was really low on it. So first off, we'll start there, and then we'll get to a Lordy's performance, which is fucking
Actually, well, before we get into that, I gotta say, I agreed with your Letterboxd comment about Christoph Waltz still coasting off Inglourious Basterds and Django Unchained. I don't think he's been good in anything since then. But do you know which character he was like an allusion to?
Was it the fucking like his little helper guy?
Yeah,
Like
he was
the-
Igor. He was Igor.
Yeah.
But he was
That's
like a novelized version of Igor, where it's like instead of him being like the little assistant, he's the wealthy benefactor that drives the whole experiment. He's not a character in the book.
So he's not a character. So
No.
Igor as a character, like the actual Igor that we think of, is the character in the book.
Kinda, yeah. And I don't even think that his character's that much in the book. The book is really pretty much they're out on the, well, it's a framing story of a framing story of a framing story, like Secret Agent, where they're in the Arctic, they're being chased. Frankenstein spends a lot more time recounting his childhood and stuff, and
Which they do
mentions
get to.
but he mentions he brings up his brother. His brother's the whole reason that he tries to create a man in the first place, because his brother dies young, and they left that part out of this movie, which I thought was kind of interesting. Instead, they made it more an obsession, which is more like the movie where he just has an obsession of wanting to be God, essentially.
I think
create.
that's what makes. That was another thing I really had issue with the film too. Is like, so obviously the whole central crux of like the Frankenstein book is like man is the devil and the creature's actually not it's like the man is the monster and all that, and like he literally says you're the monster, and I just felt Guillermo was really spoon feeding you the theme of this film.
Yeah,
and I think that, and in addition, and I think that's probably why they kept the brother thing out, to make Victor Frankenstein so unlikable and such a fucking dick.
Yeah,
and such
and kept him alive and merged him with the Bride of Frankenstein thing, which is again not in the Bride is nowhere in any of the Frankenstein book.
Yeah,
it is really just Frankenstein and the monster basically for the whole book.
Yeah, so I hear you on the 30s 40s piece, and I do think when Frankenstein creates his monster, I do think, like I said, I think Isaac's performance snaps into focus. I think like he plays mean and cruel really well, and I thought he did that really well in the movie. But yeah, it was a very uneven performance for me. What was not an uneven performance though, our guy, Elordi,
baby. I told you, he fucking crushes this one.
It's so good. Honestly, I'm amazed. I was amazed. I was like, I have been on this record saying I'm not a big Elordi guy. He's really good in this, folks. Really good. I'm really happy for him. Like he plays like just gentle and like confused so well.
He does so good as the monster. So good.
He really does.
Yeah.
You were dead right on this. I mean,
he really is Shelley's monster. There is not much of the 30s movie in his performance, I would say. Most of it, the performance, the 30s stuff happens around him, but he's very much, I'd say he's much closer to the closest Frankenstein to the book we've ever had, or Frankenstein's monster.
But did the Frankenstein look like this? Like, he kind of looks like...
No, he looked like a normal human for the most part.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
In the book. He's described, I mean, he's described, he's still scarred and stuff, like, because, like, he takes different tissue and stuff. And he can't speak, but he's freakishly strong in the book, because Victor picks a bunch of really strong pieces to try and, if bigger guy, probably more durable, right, and can take more damage from whatever, probably more well preserved and stuff like that.
Okay. But I mean, Elordi's performance, so he is nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which is honestly
feels like a cheat.
It does feel like a bit of a cheat, but that's class. I mean, Best Supporting Actor is a classic. It's a classic cheat category anyway.
Yeah.
Gosh dang, dude, what a group though. Delroy Linda out of Sinners, Elordi, Frankenstein, Stellan Skarsgård, Sentimental Value, Sean Penn, and Del Toro on One Battle. What a fucking set!
That's the group of death for the Oscars.
Yes. I mean, other than Delroy Linda, who does good, no disrespect, any four of those guys winning, I know you're probably not as in on Penn. If I had to pick, it would be between Elordi and Del Toro for me. But again, if Skarsgård won, I'd have no issues.
Yeah, I was going to say Elordi and Skarsgård. Because I also feel like Skarsgård's a bit of a cheat code in there.
Yeah, I'm fine with any of those three winning. I think if you put a gun to my head, I would put Del Toro just because it feels like an actual supporting role as opposed to, like you said, a Skarsgård.
Yes.
But again, if you're just measuring the performance itself, I think all three are amazing. I mean, Elordi's like the use of his. I said it's like Cirque du Soleil at times, where he's just so like limmy and he's fucking huge. It's just
like a baby, dude. Like that's how babies are. Like you just don't see it because they're so tiny, and they're always reaching out and just trying to like get stuff. But they're just imagine if he had a 7-foot wing. If a baby had a 7-foot wingspan.
It's true. You can tell he was so thoughtful and so intentional around that, and I shout out to him, man, because like that's it. You know, you could definitely kind of mail that performance in, so to speak, and you could tell Elordi took it really seriously.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be so easy to be the monster.
Agreed.
But he adds such a layer and depth to it, and his I think he does really well with Mia Goth as well, especially once he starts like talking and stuff. Like the gap in there, like him learning to speak from the farm guy. Which is, the only thing from the books that like stays consistent in the 30s movie is that, because it's cut down significantly, but he is shown kindness by like a blind old dude, and I don't think he's taught to speak in the 30s movie. I don't think he ever like says anything. But like he has shown some kindness, and then he accidentally drowns the girl, and the town hates him.
Yeah, learning. I thought those are really tender and nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hear you. Like I said, it was my least favorite. What was your least favorite of the 10?
Probably Train Dreams.
Train Dreams. Okay. Yeah, I like I said, I was going to give this a 3-star, but Elordi comes in and really saves the day for me. But I do hear you. I think it's an interesting point around like the over the topness. I hadn't considered that. I think I
think that's the difference between your score and my score, because I gave it 4.5. Half of that is just Elordi. Like that little half star is just Elordi. But I gave it one of the stars there, I would say, is probably because it is. I felt like it's such an ode to the 30s version in so many different ways. I saw that in Oscar's performance. I saw that in the design of the tower. I think the tower as a concept was really cool and could have been great, but God, it's just so fucking ugly. And the inside of it looks like the fucking Chamber of Secrets from Harry Potter in 2002. Like, dude.
No, but you're dead right that Del Toro is such a student of film. Like, he's a real film junkie.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're right. Any allusion made to that 30s film is 100% intentional, and I'm sure he coached the actors to ham it up a bit, because that was just the style of the day, and that would mean a lot to Del Toro. So I do think you're right on that. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so
still not better than Sinners. Yeah, still not better than Sinners though. Sinners wins.
Okay, so now we have, this will be fun. Sentimental Value and Secret Agent. Okay, so I actually I do know what I'm going to pick. I've already said, because I had my top 3 was Sinners, Secret Agent, and One Battle. Secret, yeah. So
this one's hard for me too, though, because
do you have Sentimental Value over?
I'm gonna put Secret Agent over it, but I think I might put Sentimental Value in that tier as well. Like, I do think
you could make a case for it.
Yeah,
for sure.
For one, I saw this as the Norwegian 8.5.
Yeah, you said that in your review. I thought that was a good take. I like that.
8.5, for those of you that don't know, is an Italian film from the 50s by arguably the greatest Italian filmmaker of all time, Federico Fellini. Even if you're not a film buff, I highly recommend watching La Dolce Vita by him. That's just a great movie about life, and arguably a little depressing. He basically helped found the Italian neorealism movement of Italy, and 8.5 is him pushing that even further into meta commentary by making a movie about himself making his 8.5 movie. He considers the half movie to be like short films that he did. He did like 3 short films and 7 theatrical. So he was like, or 6 theatrical. So he's like, this is my 8.5 movie, and it's going to be about that. And it's just a beautiful, surreal, insane movie about movies and about just aging through life. And I feel like Sentimental Value does that in a very similar way, although with a Norwegian kick, which is just, Norway is a land without sun, people. It's a depressing fucking movie at times. Depressing.
It's a great, and I think it's worth calling out that, in this day and age, we are so meta-pilled, and everything's a framing, of a reframing, of a retelling, of a remake, and it's it gets so,
everything's
Russian.
up its own ass, Abed. You don't have to do that.
It's such a Russian nesting doll of, framing devices these days, but, in the 60s, that's a revolutionary thought. To make a movie about a movie, that's,
it had been done maybe, 2 times before, making a movie about a movie.
Studio exec's head. Now we have, but... So I thought that was, and I think you're dead right around. It was cool to watch the scenes of this old aging man reconcile with his own age and what that meant about his art and his work. And I think the scene that was so powerful was when he goes to get his editor, I believe, right? Isn't that who he went to?
No, it's his cinematographer.
And it is such a powerful scene of his cinematographer has this gorgeous house, and he's like, I need to work with this guy. And then he goes to see him in his home, and the guy's just a frail, out-of-it old man. And you can see Skarsgård goes to that guy's house, and is trying to recruit him. And in the moments of him just trying to recruit him, realizes he can't do it anymore, And it's so really you can see Skarsgård wrestling with like, oh fuck, this is gonna be me soon.
Yeah,
You know?
no, and then Skarsgård can convey that without having to say in a scene later, like by himself, like, damn, I don't want to end up like that guy out loud. Like, he can do it all with his face, and that's acting.
Yeah.
That's acting.
It was really good. I mean, Skarsgård was lights out. I also thought it was cool, like they weaved in a little commentary. Like I thought they were doing that press junket, and they're asking about like the release of the film. He's like, yeah,
that press junket was so funny. That was funny.
Like, it was great. And he's like, of course it's gonna be. And they're like,
well, we're talking about it. We're talking about it.
It'll get something. Yeah, it was like I did think that the film's kind of like. I mean, the core of the movie is about the family drama, but as a commentary on movie making right now, I thought was really fascinating. Shout out to Ellie Fanning too. Wow. I mean, the performance in this
great job in what is admittedly like a relatively smaller role than I was anticipating from this movie for Ellie Fanning.
Yes,
especially, and I'm sure that that's a marketing issue. Like she was, I feel like every marketing thing I saw for this movie was Skarsgård and Ellie Fanning.
Yes.
Like I did not. When we opened up with Renate Rensive doing the play thing, like I had to double check that I hadn't bought the wrong movie. I was like, where's my Skarsgård? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I would say honestly, sentimental value. If you're lining up performances, like this movie has the best performances of any movie in the year.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Skarsgård, Renee is incredible, Ellie Fanning incredible, and I said it in my review. Honestly, I thought Ingna Ibsadar Lilius's performance as the sister of
Agnes, she's also fantastic.
Incredible, she's incredible. She might have been my favorite. I'm obviously like I know Skarsgård well, I know Renate well, so like when they give you amazing work, it's like LeBron giving you great work. It's like
right.
That's LeBron.
That's what we expect.
But like her, I'd never seen her before, and I was like, dude, she's step for step with both of these people. Like, I was so impressed by her. I thought it was such a fascinating sort of like juxtaposition between obviously they have this dad who's so dominating, and how both Renate and Agnes, kind of dealt with the force of their dad. I thought was so telling and how she kind of internalized her trauma. It was and made it like she felt sad about it, but also was like, I don't know what the fuck.
I'd say that like.
You know,
all three of them almost have like a main role for like each part of the movie. I'd say.
Yes.
Like I feel like the end is mostly about Skarsgård, and like I feel like he's kind of the main character for that part, and then the middle is Agnes, the sister, like up until the point of like getting Renate to agree to be in the movie. I feel like she's crucial through that whole thing, and then like the beginning is Renate, and she's kind of the main character through the whole thing. We get more of her life throughout, but she really drives the first part of the movie.
Yeah, in the scene where Renate and like her sister are kind of bonding, and she's like, "Why?" Renate asks her sister why she's so fucked up and why Agnes is okay, and she's like, "Well, Agnes is like, I had you, you know. It's like you kind of protected me from the trauma, so to speak, and you kind of were." That got me as a sibling. Like that was like,
as an older sibling, you're just kind of like,
that's awesome. It was an awesome scene, really great. I mean, I loved the ending of this movie. I thought it was so powerful.
Good. So good. Again, Skarsgård, just with his face, says so much in that final look to Nora Renate's character. It's just, and the little kid.
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty good, too. Like, he's just as good as Hamnet.
What are we feeding these kids?
I don't know. Maybe it's Norway. Maybe it's, like, the healthcare and the education and all that. It could be all that. It might be the fact that he's taken care of as a child.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I love sentimental value so much. I'm so glad the movie exists, and I think it's my wife's favorite movie of the year.
It's genuinely, I would say, it's genuinely one of the hardest movies I've ever watched, but definitely one I will still rewatch.
It's really powerful, man. It's just so good. Okay, so that means our finals. Wow, this has been a great pod. I've really enjoyed this, and we're right on time too. Okay, now we have our finals. Sinners.
Be the secret agent. And I gotta say, I think a lot of people weren't expecting to see Secret Agent here at the end.
A lot of people haven't seen this, don't know what it's about.
And I really doubt we'll convince anyone to go see a movie about 70s Brazil and spoken entirely in Portuguese. But it's so good.
It's so good. So I think we just talk about them both. I think I want to talk with Secret Agent first.
Yeah.
So this is a good time to talk about Best Actor too. The Best Actor race at this point is ostensibly just between Leo and it seems like Leo and Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, and I see why Michael B. Jordan. I see why Leo, if he's in a movie, is always going to be in that conversation. He's the obvious heir to Daniel Day-Lewis as best actor in the world right now. And I think Paul Thomas Anderson kind of helps with that, putting him in this movie. 100%. Michael B. Jordan had an incredible year with Sinners, playing 2 different roles like that. Although Wagner Moura played 2 different roles too, or whatever.
I know he did. I'm telling you, Wagner Moura needs more. Like Leslie said, it was her favorite performance of all of them she's seen.
Same.
I kind of agree. I think
if you're asking me who the best actor is out of everybody that was nominated here, between him and Chalamet and Ethan Hawke, and we all love Ethan Hawke here. Ethan Hawke, yeah. Wagner Moura is the only guy who, I guess, outside of other than Stellan Skarsgård, made me know what he was feeling solely through his face.
Yes, I agree. It's a really impressive performance. Again, I think that I am surprised it's not getting more love. Like I said, it's kind of the Sinners. So here's the thing. I think I compare. I've said it before, and this is going to be my hot take. I'm not trying to be hot takey. This is just how I feel. Okay, so if you think of actors, if you think of the spectrum of actors, okay, you have your Glenn Powells on this end, okay, great super charming, nice guys, really hot, fine actors. I can give you hot and charming. That's what I'm good at.
Yep.
They have skin,
and they can act, and that is a skill. It is they are believable actors. That is not an easy thing to do. Agreed.
No disrespect to Glenn Powell. Okay, 0. Then you have your Denzel Washingtons, your Tom Hanks, your Tom Cruises here. You're one of ones. You're unicorns. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Michael B. Jordan is closer to the Glenn Powell end of this spectrum than he is to the Denzel, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks spectrum. I'm not trying to be hot take. I think Michael B. Jordan has such a limited range as an actor, and I feel I don't think his performances here are all that different than what I saw in Black Panther and what I saw in Creed. He just has this flavor of performance that, to me, it's he'll ramp up a certain emotion. So for in Creed 2, he might be a little more moody. In Black Panther, he might be a little bit more menacing. Sometimes he might just go straight charm. I don't ever feel like he's radically departing from his safe space. And I'm surprised that I really, really don't think his performance was that good. It's good. It's not. Amy plays 2 people. That's cool. I honestly think the tooth, the little fake tooth he has, is doing more acting than his actual acting, to be honest with you. But I'm really surprised with how much love Michael B. Jordan is getting. I think Wara is lights out. I think he's doing Skarsgård lights. I just think I'm not trying to shit on Michael B. Jordan. The Sinners is didn't be my best picture. I'm really surprised. I think we're going to look if I just don't think Michael B. Jordan should win, and I'd be really disappointed if he did, to be honest with you. Just a nice guy. I'm just saying there's other performances this year that I think are better. Mainly more.
I agree with you. I think the thing that would frustrate me is if Michael B. Jordan lost to Leonardo DiCaprio, because I don't know that.
You don't like DiCaprio's performance, or where do you?
I would say. I think this is arguably the best Michael B. Jordan's done, and I think he does kind of get a handicap on that, and the fact that he gets to show more range. And I do think you're right. He does stay roughly in his bubble and doesn't range too far outside that. But with this role, he gets to go from one end of his bubble to the other end of his bubble, which is kind of cool. Between the charming and the menacing, we kind of get everything from Friday Night Lights to Killmonger in between in this movie.
Yes, I agree. And I just don't think there's I just think that there's just a lot that you can't ask Michael B. Jordan to do. And I think that real great actors, you can ask them to do anything, and they can give you anything.
That's fair. Oh yeah. So I would say, again, going back to the best actress, Jessie Buckley. She gives us every single fucking emotion in the world during Hamnet. We don't get the same thing from Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. I don't think we get the same thing from Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another. I do think we get close to it, not as good as Buckley does, but close to it from Wagner Moura in Secret Agent. Here's my hot, super strong take. I think Wagner Moura's performance is arguably the best performance I've seen in a very long time, especially in terms of a role that from a language I don't understand, which I really felt that from a foreign actor since Toshiro Mifune, the guy that Akira Kurosawa loved, who in my opinion is the greatest actor of all time. I don't give a fuck if you understand Japanese or not. You know exactly what Toshiro Mifune is saying in every single fucking scene. You know. You fucking know from his face. Everything he's feeling, everything he's thinking, you fucking know. Like, you don't really need the subtitle. You need the subtitles for the other characters and they're reacting to him. You don't need it for him. You know when he's like, fuck you, I'm going to slice you in half, or I'm going to help you, or I didn't kill that guy. Just kidding, I did kill that guy. And he usually does that with the crazy laugh he does, and his crazy laugh is awesome. I truly, like, when I was watching Wagner Moura, I actually thought for a second, like, holy shit, Toshiro.
That's crazy. That's it. So
I'd have to see more of him to, like, say that for sure, like, that he's on that level. But this, like, in a one-for-one performance, it's like
it's really good.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, it's like he hits all these different notes. His character so the plot itself is quite confusing. Like, it is legitimately difficult to track, which is intentional. But again, Moore's performance throughout, where he's carrying this weight, he's carrying this guilt, he's carrying this, like, you can feel it off him in his eyes at all times.
He's so tired. He's just so tired.
He is. He's so tired. He's so, like, there. But he's also, I think, like, he's still charismatic in this really, like,
he still does have some hope. Like, he's still, and a lot of it has to do, like, he has hope, like, his whole thing is just trying to get his son out and safe, and that is kind of, like, I guess, sort of because we know what happens to him before the end of the movie. We know, like, why he's being studied and all that, and, like, why his story is being, like, because of the framing narrative and all that. But the main thing we're worried about is, like, did his kid fucking make it? Did his father-in-law make it? He's obviously not going to survive the present day, but...
Right, you're right. But I think the film was so cool because if there's a gimmick I love killing a major character off screen. One of my favorite things. I'm always down for it. Whenever it happens.
I think this was one of the coolest ways it's ever been done, too.
I fucking love it. Every time I see it, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I think killing a major character off screen is so, like, another movie, an all-time great movie that does it, No Country for Old Men. Uses it to great, like, same thing.
Yep.
It was this, every time you do it, it is always like, what the fuck? Like, it feels like someone just took the carpet out from under you, and you're like, whoa. Like,
that's a good rug pull. Yeah.
It's a great rug pull, and it's like, and it's like in both movies too. It's not just a gimmick for gimmick's sake. Like, I think it works great here because they're trying to communicate. Like, it was like they called it great mischief in the movie. Like, it was chaos. Like, people were dying all over the place.
I did a little like deep dive on what was happening in Brazil at that time, and the movie is intentionally kind of confusing because things were confusing back then. Like, there was like it was a borderline fascist dictatorship trying to take over in the fucking 50s or in the 70s, and like, they controlled newspapers and shit, and they were just it was insane. It was crazy.
Crazy. It was like so interesting how it's like, yeah, this crazy leg is just like doing rampages in the streets, and people are like,
and they believed it. They're like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, we know we're being lied to. They're like literally taunting us almost. But what can we do? And, like, I thought that scene where they're in the refugee house and they're all, like, talking about, like, their lives.
That's for me when the film really kicks up.
It's so good. Like, this movie was such, like, and we haven't even gotten to, like, Wagner Moura's performance was amazing. The editing and the plot and how the movie is, like, unfolding is unbelievable. I mean, like,
this is an example I would pick for editing.
Yes, agreed, 100%. I agree there 100%. And I really think that, like, I came out of this movie and it's like, it's been a while since I've seen, like, a Parasite level movie. and I don't want to, but this could be again. You have to let those movies simmer. But this felt rewatch it.
I would,
It
I would
takes a lot
argue it's certainly a perfect film in that it made me feel like every range of emotion. Technically, Hamnet is too in that regard because I have felt every emotion so far from Hamnet. But I would say on a whole level, like from acting, directing, the script, the editing, the cinematography, the music is fucking fantastic. That whatever that song is playing in the background for like that final chase sequence is fucking perfect. It's so good, and it just helps raise the anxiety. It's like it's as good a music choice as like everything that Edgar Wright did in Baby Driver, which is a whole movie about music. It's
I also think too, like you said, I think it was such a great choice to then have the climax essentially be like the two villains are going against each other unintentionally. It was so clever.
Good. Like that's probably what was happening too. Like that's like it was chaos. Like people were killing people that they shouldn't have been killing. They were just like, oh no, you know what? Fuck you, because you fucked up. So now I have to kill you. And it's like, no, I'll kill you first. Like you can't do that. That's it's just so good.
It's so good, honestly. Like I can't honestly, I had one battle after another winning on my bracket, and then Sinner 2. But after talking, dude, I think Secret Agent might be my film of the year. Like, I think I just kind of came to that conclusion after talking. I'm kind of amazed, but like, it was so good.
I might have talked myself into it too after Sinners. I don't know.
I liked Sinners. I
loved Sinners. I would say Sinners is also a perfect movie, but more so because it hits it's close. It's a perfect movie in the same way that like Raiders of the Lost Ark is a perfect movie.
And I think it's like original screenplay. I think it's really cool. I think the first 40 minutes when like Smoke and Stack are trying to put the juke joint together is really cool.
That whole thing is just awesome. And then just I will say that first 40 minutes is super realistic for that.
Agreed.
Yeah,
and they're like I think how they weave the commentary in that is really well done. Really, really well done. Really thoughtful.
Really cool.
Not just really well done. There.
Yeah, and subtle. Like it's not over the top, but it still hits you and you still feel it. It's not so subtle that you have the chance to miss it or can like just look it away. And then the obviously the whole. I mean, this has been said to death in all like. This is the one take I always see on Twitter is the comparison between an Irish vampire and black people in America. And it's like, he came over here because of the potato famine and he was a vampire and all that. And being Irish sucked. If you can find me one Irish person that says it's comparable to being a black person in America, though, I'd be shocked.
That stuff was, I agree. I saw it a bunch. I didn't, I thought that was honestly, I thought that was a little too much analysis for me. I think people were kind of overthinking it a touch.
I agree. I think that's a lot. I do think Ryan Coogler is obviously making that type of comparison, saying that but I think that's more of a comparison to try and appeal to certain other groups that might be like, hey, you can become the other too.
I agree.
It's very easy to become an other.
Yes,
and you see that happen to the KKK group, that are like thinking they're in the in group, and then they become an other.
Yeah, totally. I completely agree. And I also think O'Connell is just like he also is just Irish, and he's just an actor too. So
awesome.
He
may have not. Brian Coogler may not have even written the vampire as Irish. He just saw O'Connell and was like, yeah, we'll just make him Irish. We'll just do that.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the Irish folk music was great too. O'Connell's actually my favorite performance in the whole movie. And I like Delroy Linda and I like Michael B. Jordan, but I think O'Connell's the guy that speaks to me the most in the film. But yeah, I like Sinners. I just as we're talking through it, I just think that Secret Agent I think if you look at the main performances, like we said, I just feel Maura is so much better than Jordan, and I really just think that the level of difficulty on Secret Agent is really high. And Sinners is also super high too. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just came out of the. I think another thing that I said I struggle with Sinners a little bit is I wanted it to be scarier. It wasn't as scary as I think.
I mean, it's not a necessary thing for a vampire movie, I guess I should say, but it's something I like more. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I just compare it to another horror movie that's has racial commentary, like Get Out. I thought Get Out was more scary and horrifying to me than it was. So again, they're kind of different. Sinners is almost an adventure movie than it is like an outright horror movie.
Yeah.
But it does have vampires. Like the genre bending that's going on in Sinners is really.
It's really hard to put into any of the boxes.
It really is. Like Spike Lee said, and he's dead right. It's like it's kind of like a blaxploitation film. It's kind of like a really poignant commentary on race relations.
It's also weirdly like a western too.
Yeah, also like a kind of a musical at times. Yeah. Like, it's like a bizarre film.
It's all over the place.
It is all, but it works. I mean,
it is one of those that works in that. It'll probably win, to be honest, because I'd be really shocked to see the Academy give it to. Again, a Brazilian film about 70s Brazil and all that. I'm glad that Secret Agent got nominated at all. I think it's nominated for Best Foreign Film, so they'll probably give it that just to make up for it. Which is huge. But still, this was just...
kind of surprised. I had one battle, but like in my thing, but I'm kind of... Secret Agent was just so good. So let's go through it. Let's go through like all of the things one more time before we wrap up.
Yeah,
here. So,
I'm gonna try to figure out a way to edit this bracket in iMovie to see if I can get it, change it as we're talking. So we had our first matchup was between Hamnet and Train Dreams. We had Hamnet win.
Yep.
So and then we had F1 and Secret Agent. Secret Agent won.
And
so the bottom two were Train Dreams and F1. Two movies about motor vehicles, and we were not fans. We're not car guys. We're not train guys. We don't have that type of tism, guys. Sorry.
Sorry, guys. No train love here. No
train
if it's
love
on wheels, we don't like it.
We're not that type of... Yeah.
We're not wheels guys.
Not wheels guys. And then we had, for the second round, not counting the buys, we had Frankenstein versus Marty Supreme. We gave that to Frankenstein.
Yep.
And then Sentimental versus Begonia. We gave that to Sentimental Value.
Bummer. Great movie, Begonia.
Bummer, but yeah, Begonia is so good. It's just not quite there. I know Yorgos will get something of it. I think he'll get a Best Director someday.
For sure.
I should also say, in my opinion, every time someone wins Best Picture, they should also win Best Director, because that's just how movies work nowadays. But unfortunately, the director for Secret Agent is not nominated for Best Director, so I guess I'd probably give it to... Well, I'm not going to lie, I want to give it to Chloe Zhao again. But if I can't pick anybody from that, but it'll probably go to Coogler.
I think they're going to do I think they're going to split it. I think they're going to give PTA Best Director, and they're going to give Sinners Best Picture, is how I see things splitting here. I think a lot of people are going to, I just think Sinners just has a lot of cultural energy right now that one battle just doesn't. So my guess is Sinners will end up winning, if I had to put money on it.
Yeah. But yeah, so the next matchup we had was One Battle After Another versus Secret Agent. We gave that to Secret Agent after some deliberation.
Against all odds.
Against all odds. The fucking Cinderella story here. And then we have Hamnet versus Sinners. We gave that to Sinners, even though Hamnet is a beautiful film with great performances. It's just not quite there. And, I'm not going to lie, I think a movie about a dead 11-year-old is not going to win too much shit. It's just...
Tough movie to get through, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not great. A lot of these movies were tough to get through. They make you think about yourself. And then we had Sinners versus Frankenstein. We gave that to Sinners, despite Elordi's incredible performance. I do think he'll win Best Supporting Actor. I think they're going to give that to him.
I really hope he does.
I think he's going to get it for that. And he did. I mean, as much as Wuthering Heights is an insane adaptation of that book, I read the plot for that, or the plot for that movie. And then read the plot for Wuthering Heights. The differences are insane. In my opinion.
I have no love in my heart for Wuthering Heights, or just I'm saying the Emerald Fennell director.
Emerald Fennell, yeah, Emerald Fennell.
She's not a fan.
She's a choice. She's a choice.
She's a fan.
Yeah. And then we have what was the next? Secret Agent versus Sentimental Value. We gave that to... Yeah, that was a fun discussion. We gave that to Secret Agent, despite Sentimental Value having arguably the strongest acting core of any of the movies that we saw here.
I don't think it's unbelievable. I think it has the strongest core. I think the only one that's close is One Battle, but I think that there's enough Sean Penn backlash to that performance that I think the most I don't think anyone sees any performance in sentimental value and think, nah, not for me.
Here's what I'm going to say about Sean Penn's performance. I don't necessarily think it was like bad acting on his part. I think he was giving exactly what PTA wanted. And I disagree with PTA's choice. And then
Agreed.
So our finale was The Secret Agent versus Sinners. And after talking about it, we talked ourselves into giving it to Secret Agent, and it's an insane choice on our part. There's no way Secret Agent wins this, but
no way. There's zero chance. But I talking about it in the moment. I can't put. I can't in good conscience put Sinners above it. I just think Secret Agent was so good.
It really was.
I think I just also think as a capturing of the moment. I think does a far better job of the zeitgeisty moment we're in now than even One Battle does. I think it's a movie that I feel like speaks to the moment right now better than the other movie does. And I just think it's a really cool movie. Just really cool, man. I'm so in shock of that, how good that movie was.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pay more attention. Well, for one, shout out to Neon for pushing that movie out to wider audiences. I don't think anybody would have even heard of this movie if it wasn't for Neon. I don't think it would have gotten the push it had. So shout out to them for that.
It's a great call, Tom. It's a great call because it should be watched by more people, and it's a great call. Great shout out to Neon for exposing more stories. Great story. Oh man, this is fun. Damn. That hour and a half flew by.
Ooh, yeah, that was a fun discussion. I can't believe we picked Secret Agent. That's just
kind of came out of nowhere. But you kind of rode for it, and I'm and then I One Battle. I like One Battle, but it is hard. I feel like when you have a movie that it is PTA's mid tier of a movie for him, so it's always hard to reward. And this happens all the time. Honestly, directors, but for the movies that they weren't their best, but. Yeah, it was just fun. The more I talked about Secret Agent, the more I was like, wait, what am I doing? Why do I,
Yeah.
I don't know. Really fun. Well, so what's our next pod, Tom? What's our next pod?
I think our next pod is a little up in the air. I think we can do either DC or we can talk Night of the... Have you watched all of Night of the Seven Kingdoms yet?
4 episodes in.
Okay. We could maybe do that. Or we could discuss Supergirl.
Okay, we can talk around this. This probably isn't fun for the folks who, but it'll definitely be a DC, maybe GOT related. We'll get back into the nerd life.
Yeah, it'll be back to the nerd stuff more. We could just talk about WB as a whole right now, which could be kind of fun.
That's interesting. That I could be persuaded by it. I always do the business plus. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to all the fans to our millions of fans who watch. Let us know.
Yeah, Bill, shoot us a text on what you want to talk about next. Or Imhoff. I think Imhoff's listening to these ones too. So Bill and Imhoff, whichever one of you text me first, we'll talk about that.
We take requests on this show. We're a podcast of the people.
Yeah, we're for the people. All 4 of us that listen to this. And 2 of them are here.
But I'll do it. I love doing this shit, man. It's been so fun. Well, cool, brother. Well, I don't know if I'll actually tune into the Academy Awards till later, and then the early rounds, they kind of just. But anyway, man, as always, I really enjoyed rapping about it with you.
This was a lot of fun.
Great movie year. Good movie year, I thought.
Really strong movie year. We talked shit about some of these 10. I don't know if there's any of these 10 other than maybe Train Dreams that I would drop out for another movie.
Well, man, I still ride or die for 28 years later.
28 years later, yeah, that's fair.
I think 28 years later was really slept on. I think it was so much better than Frankenstein. And I don't know why we had to put Frankenstein in because I feel they're both commercial. I really liked, but I'm kind of alone. I loved 28 Years Later.
No, you're right. 28 Years Later probably deserves some love. And there was Weapons and but again, I think this was a strong horror year, and I think that's what sucks. Yeah,
it was. Well, my man, it's always a pleasure. That was fun.
Love talking to you, buddy. All right. See you, buddy. All right. I'm going to stop presenting. Perfect. All right. Thank you all for listening to The Scuttle. We are currently sponsored by Nobody. Music performed and mixed by Digital Women. Look them up on their SoundCloud. And all hail our champion commissioner. We also have video versions of this on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe on there. And as always, be kind to each other, guys. And may the sun god Nika bless this league.